Hello, everyone, and welcome to EDGEy Conversations. Bronwyn Corlett here from EDGE, and I am joined by Cathy and Catherine. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. They are here to share an exciting new ministry that they are up to. So, Cathy and Catherine, who are you and what is your ministry?
I'm Cathy Maxwell, and I'm the ministry personnel at St. Charles Headingley United Church in Headingley, Manitoba. We serve the community of Headingley and the kind of the Crestview and area of, or the western part of the city of Winnipeg.
Thank you, Cathy. And I'm Catherine. I hope this doesn't get too confusing for you, Ron. And I live just in Headingley as well. So I'm a community member here and a member of the United Church. And I work in the dementia care field in recreation and psychosocial support and in advocacy. And I was really pleased to be able to spearhead this initiative in building dementia inclusive churches and communities.
Amazing. Yes, I have a few Catherines around, so it's all good. Cathy and Catherine. So yeah, you just told us a little bit. What is the ministry that you're engaged in?
The ministry we're engaged in is called One Small Seed, and can be found on the website onesmallseed.ca, or by also going to the St. Charles Headingley United Church website. And what we have done is, over the course of the last couple of years, we have developed a series of webinars that help folks look at issues around dementia and how we might bring our churches to be more inclusive of those living with dementia and their families in the life and work of the congregation. And Catherine has been our project coordinator on this and has been really the one who's done most of the ground for our web series.
Terrific. So what have how long has it been, I guess, and what surprised you? What have you learned in this process or initiative?
Well, I'll take that one, Cathy. So I mean, it was a long process, and we're really grateful to EDGE as a funder for allowing us some flexibility in exploring how to best bring a project like this to life, because we were allowed to explore a few different avenues of how to best make this work. And that always doesn't happen in grants writing and in doing projects. So we're really grateful to the organization for allowing us to do that. We originally thought that we would do an in-person kind of one-day symposium of having special guest speakers come. We were just really interested in learning more about what dementia is, what it means, and how we can make our communities more inclusive. And that kind of shifted, didn't it, Cathy?
Yes.
It partly because pandemic, partly because a one-day live symposium meant that people would only have access to the material that one day. And we really wanted it to be accessible to as many people as possible for as long as possible. And part of that means recordings that people can go back to and watch and refer to over and over. So then the symposium kind of became an online webinar series, and then it became a website, and then it became this, and it kind of grew from there. So we are grateful for that flexibility. And we ended up with this website, again, onesmallseed.ca, which is giving a little bit of a homage to Manitoba, where we are seeding season, which is spring for us, obviously. And the fact that people interested in learning more about dementia don't need to plant a whole field at once, do they, Cathy? They could just pick one small seed and plant it and see where it goes. So we ended up with this website of 7 webinars. You can watch them in any order. You can watch them alone. You can watch them with a group, which we do encourage congregations to do, and we are doing ourselves. And we don't want people to feel overwhelmed by the amount of information coming at them. So really encourage people just to watch and pull one small piece of information from each webinar. And I've included lots of supplemental materials as well that go with each of the webinars. So you can go as little or as big as you want. You can dive deep, or you can just kind of join us for a little nugget of information and take that back into your life. So I hope that's a success for people. But Cathy, I'll hand it over to you. What stands out to you as a success?
I think as you were talking about the name of the project, One Small Seed, we really started as One Small Seed. We started with an idea when Catherine approached our church board to say, I've got this idea, would you work with me? And so we started a partnership there, and it was literally a small seed of an idea that has just flourished. Not only have we created this webinar series that we're hoping to get out to not just the church in this area, but nationally. We've sent information to other denominations, other faith groups. So we're hoping that really it kind of goes from there and blossoms. And what we've been seeing in the last month is that it's really kind of growing wider and wider with some of the contacts that we've made with the Alzheimer's Society and with a home care company, Just Like Family. And so we're looking now at working with both of those organizations to work together to, in part, promote our web series, but to get the word out there about inclusion of folks with dementia in our churches and other faith groups. So it's been exciting to see how much this is growing, and the response that we're getting from people is phenomenal. People are excited, and it's also, for us as a congregation, is leading us to look at exploring other possibilities for how we might reach out in our community as well, and how we might be able to bring more awareness in the community, but also provide support in the community as well for families and individuals living with dementia. So it's really opened a new kind of area of ministry and outreach for us as a congregation as well.
I love so much of what is being shared. It's so exciting. And I love that idea of just like one small idea, and it just grows gradually. Sometimes we feel like we have to start really big and then get overwhelmed. And also the experimentation, like we thought we were going to try this, and then it actually wasn't the right format. And, and that is so great, because I think when we think we have to have the right answer or the right project that's going to be perfect the way it is, and it just doesn't work that way, does it?
Right.
We could take a good idea that then blossoms and grows in unexpected ways, and like the opening of the partnership, like that, it's expanding into now organizations. It really started, it sounds like, between Catherine and the bringing an idea to the congregation. So this is just so exciting. I would say too, like EDGEy is fully in support of all these grants. They are embracing the spirit grants. So that's mission and service, just to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And we've totally supported it. So you've been evolving and blossoming. Have you had some challenges along the way?
Well, I think the challenges sort of come every time you pivot to respond to a challenge. Sort of new ones kind of come up a little bit. One of the challenges we would love to tackle, we are keen on tackling, right, Cathy, is getting the word out about the program. And getting that promoted and getting that into people's parish halls and homes and living rooms, because the information is there. We've done the legwork, and there is no need to reinvent the wheel. So if your family is interested in knowing more about dementia and the intersection between faith and spirituality and dementia, we've done the legwork for you. And we haven't done, actually, none of this is like our original thinking. We reached out to the experts. So one thing I should point out is that the webinars are in conversation, and they're not classes, they're conversations. I designed them intentionally to be like chatty, friendly conversations, about 30 minutes long, not that long. And we talked to people with lived experience. We talked to the National Council of Dementia Minds. We talked to the Lutheran Church in Australia. We talked to the Diocese of Lichfield in the UK. We talked to the Church of Scotland. So we reached out to a number of different countries and people who've already done all the legwork for us. And all we said is, and I think I say in one of the webinars, I've called it Seed Time and Harvest. We're ready to plant the seeds, but you've already been at it for years. Other people around the world, you're already harvesting the results of doing this dementia inclusive churches and service in the community. So let us learn from you. What are the seeds that we can take and plant over here in Canada? So we want to be able to get that information, that credible sort of legitimate information into people's homes and parishes. So something like this is a great way of getting that out there. But yeah, Cathy, I would say, would you agree with me on that? It's the promotion part that's tricky.
The promotion part has been probably the most challenging, getting the word out, and kind of knowing that the word's been received once we send it out, because we don't always get responses. We'll send out emails to different organizations and we don't necessarily hear back that, oh yeah, we've posted it on our website, or we've put it in our Sunday bulletin, or what have you. So, but what we get in return is, we are seeing that the views are going up on our YouTube, that the videos are being watched. We've had a really good response in our community, both our church and our wider community of folks coming here to the church to view the videos. So we do have, and we've got a good mix of people as well. So, it's kind of, you start small with that seed and it starts to grow. So as word gets out there, as people view it, and as they start saying, oh, I watched this, it's really good, you should,
right.
That helps.
To take that analogy, you don't know which birds have picked up the seeds and taken them,
right. Yeah.
taken them far afield, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Eventually you might learn.
And I think the other piece that's interesting is that because the folks that we brought in to share in our seminars are from other countries, there's some excitement from where they're from for this project as well. And so it's going to be interesting to see how far this reaches. We're looking at, our hope was to raise awareness within the Canadian context, but I think it's, we have potential to reach further.
Oh,
that's incredible. Yeah.
Particularly in, with some of the UK churches and things like that.
Right.
And also, have we mentioned yet? We may have, but this is all free, right? And you don't have to do any kind of, you don't have to create an account. You don't have to sign up. It's just basically a YouTube series that you can just follow at your leisure in whatever way is meaningful for you, over your morning coffee or in the parish hall every Sunday after church. So I really want to make clear that it is very easy to access this material, and it's completely free, and you never have to share your name or create a password or anything. It's just there to make the world a better place.
Amazing. So I've heard a few things that I would think it's not quite advice, but things that helped along the project. Are there things that you would tell other people in congregations or other people out there trying to start a new ministry, or who have that little seed of an idea? Any advice or things you'd want them to know?
Well,
go ahead, Cathy.
Well, I'm actually going to give a piece of advice from our friends in Scotland. We had a really fun conversation. That's the other thing I'll say about this series, is it's fun. We laugh a lot. It's not medical and clinical. We get silly, we get a bit goofy, we laugh. It's great fun to watch. Our friends in Scotland at St. Andrew's Church is one of our funniest conversations. And their advice to us was just do it. don't overthink it. I think especially when you're dealing with anything about inclusivity or like a medical condition, like we're coming from that kind of framework, people tend to just really be really gun shy and they want to overthink it. And it's death by committee. And it has to be perfect before you do the next step. And their advice to us was just do it. Just be messy. Just put out some cake and some flowers and just like some scones and like, I don't know, see what happens. Like, and I think that was really good. And they're 12 years in now to their dementia inclusive programming. So they know what they're talking about. So I think in terms of any ministry and anything to do with inclusivity is don't overthink it. Just do it. And then roll with it as it goes. Does that make sense? What do you think, Cathy?
I agree. And what I would add to that is don't just stick to one idea that you have at the beginning, because that's what we did. We had one idea for this 1-day symposium or seminar, and we realized as we talked and as we shared ideas that that's not really what we wanted to do. We really wanted to put information out there that would be out there for a while. And so that's how we developed the webinar series. So be open to change and be open to developing the idea as you need to and as the process leads you into. And because I think for us, this is the right thing that we've done. This is what feels right for our context and for what we wanted to provide and accomplish.
It's interesting. We often talk about a curiosity mindset, right? Like asking questions and just being curious about it. But what I'm hearing from you as well is really a willingness to just, I like the just do it, of course, but like a willingness to pursue and explore, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you'd like people to know about your ministry or starting a new ministry or anything else? No, I love the joy that there's a little laughter in this. It's a very serious subject. We know we have, a lot of us have aging populations and aging demographics in our churches and stuff. And it's nice to hear that there's some levity and fun, but also some really great learning as well. So thank you so much. Thank you for your ministry and your initiative. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Take care,
welcome,
everyone.
and thank you for your support.